BitTensor, or the TAO token, is flying high like crazy. It's outperforming everything. Everything in the altcoin market is green, but TAO is the greenest of them all. Now, 2 months ago, I made a video on BitTensor on the 12th of September discussing the fundamentals. What is BitTensor? How is currently the development doing? We talked about developer activity. We talked about tokenomics and inflation. We talked about setting up a miner. And we also had a look at the ecosystem, which at the time wasn't too impressive. I tried a few things and unfortunately they didn't work. Now, when I looked at this recent price action, my first thought was manipulation, because this is actually what's happening quite a bit recently with this altcoin rally. We see a lot of shorting, a lot of people that bet on falling prices, and the whales, what they are doing when enough people are betting on falling prices is they buy up the token, make all those people that short liquidate. That's, for example, the reason for the rally in the Tensor token, in TRB. TRB is shooting up, and that's because the funding rates are massively negative. It's super expensive now to short Tensor. Now, this is very, very different for BitTensor. There aren't even perpetual futures out there. In other words, this rally over here is completely natural. It's spot buying. People are simply just buying up the token. Now, I've already talked about the fundamentals of BitTensor. That's why I made this prior video 2 months ago. Feel free to check that out. In this video, we are going to look at technicals, but not just any random lines. We are looking at backtests. I made a simulation of buying and selling the TAO token to determine what's the best way to figure out, are we currently rather trending upwards or downwards, and where can we set potential stop losses? Because that's always the hard part in those rallies. When is a good time to sell? You don't want to sell your best performing asset, but at some point you have to take profit. And what I like to do is I like to take moving averages, but not just any moving averages, backtested moving averages. And what we see over here is a backtested moving average, the 15-day simple moving average. That's what historically worked the best for the TAO token. Here, have a look at this summary. This shows us, depending on the moving average duration, which is here on the x-axis. I checked all the way from 2-day moving average to 52-day. Depending on that duration, what kind of annualized performance would we have gotten if we traded according to that? Buying and holding is over here, this horizontal line, which is, by the way, 322%. But there are moving averages that perform better. In turquoise is a simple moving average. In red is exponential moving average. In total, we've got roughly 100 backtests here. And again, the best moving average is the 15-day. So the data I used started on the 3rd of March 2023 and goes all the way to today. So that brings us again back to the chart, the 15-day simple moving average. This is, I think, the best way to take profit here, similar to prior bull runs. So you avoid these massive, terrible down movements, right? 66% over here, 47% over here, but you can still take advantage of the up movements. You're betting on falling prices over here, or you're simply just in cash, and you bet on rising prices whenever the price is above the moving average. There are some failed signals, right, where you buy in and get out and buy in and get out. But overall, this is the best moving average, and it did outperform buying and holding a lot. In other words, this could be a great way to take profit whenever this rally basically stops at its pace. If it continues to ride up like this, we can simply just keep the profit running. But if it doesn't, if we simply just go sideways for a while, then we are exiting early enough before the crash. So if you want to do this yourself, right, you go to tradingview.com, you press / and then you enter simple moving average. You click on this, then you get a line, then you double click on that line and you enter 15. That's the best historically, and make sure that you've got the daily selected here. Now, what I did for this backtest is I solely looked at the price at the end of the day. So you look UTC time zone, midnight, what's currently the price. Whenever it's above, we want to be in the TAO token. Whenever the price is below the moving average, you want to be out. The backtest does not look at intraday movements like this, right? When we wiggle around this within the day. So you can simply just look at it once a day and then decide. At some point when something is that volatile, it might make sense to take profit. Now there's the big AI hype. People are looking for the next big upside opportunity. Altcoins in aggregate outperform now the rest. And as said, BitTensor did the best in the last month. Let me know what you're currently doing with your TAO tokens, why you are invested. Feel free to also like, of course, it helps the channel grow. And last but not least, I publish videos here regularly. Subscribing is very much appreciated as well. Last little plug, there is a Telegram group, link is down below.